What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in. This year's NBA draft is now in the books. Summer League is like 2 weeks away, something like that. The NBA season's like year-round now. We literally just crowned a champion this week. We had the NBA draft, which is now 2 days long, and it feels like you got about a week and a half before guys are going to start heading to Vegas and stuff. Like, this is a crazy long season. Crazy long. But with the draft now in the books, I was reading a lot of the comments, and maybe I am being a little bit of a negative Nancy. There's a chance. A lot of people thought I'm kind of the throwing a wet towel on everyone's parade right now. It was the doomsday situation and scenario going on for the draft. I'm not making any bones about it. I didn't love some of the things the Suns did, but I thought, if that's the case, why don't we check and see kind of what some of the other basketball minds out there said. So I went and scoured and kind of looked at some of the greats that the Suns were given by a bunch of people out there. So here's what they got. New York Times gave them a B- overall. ESPN gave them a flat B. USA Today gave them a C-. CBS Sports gave them an A. And the Score gave them a B-. Probably runs you about an average of, I don't know, solid B, probably right there, maybe. And this may surprise you. I don't disagree with that if you are strictly saying off of the draft. Now, the fact that Malawach fell to them at 10 is awesome. They desperately need a center. I mean, it was evident last year, and I really think he can develop to be something special. He's going to instantly be a great defensive center in this league. He's a guy that can rebound, and at his size and being able to move a little bit, he's going to be able to catch lobs and clean up around the basket and get you a few points that way. Now, he has a long way to go to develop offensively, if he can give you any sort of thing. I really think the Dikembe Mutombo comp is a really good one of, like, that could be his peak. A little pick and roll, throw it up anywhere near there, and this guy can, climb the ladder and go get it, especially with his length and size. Dude is massive, and he just started playing basketball. Like, the upside is unreal for him. A lot of people had him in the top 5 talent for this draft. And this was a loaded draft. Like, there was a lot of insane good talent in this draft. So for him to be that high says a lot. And the fact that he was able, just fell somehow, thanks Nets, all the way down, thanks Pelicans, that he was able to be available there at 10 is awesome. So that part, really, 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 really good. It's what they did right after that with the trade that drives me crazy, because I don't know. I can't compartmentalize and separate the two, because it happened in the same thing, and the draft capital that you gave up to go trade for Mark Williams. Had you not drafted Malawach and you traded for Mark Williams, I don't know if I would have been okay with it, because I'd rather have Malawach than Williams. Williams is a better player right now, but I don't think his ceiling is crazy high, and there's a lot of health concerns. There's a lot of motor concerns with that guy. And, I mean, there's a lot of things that came up, for better or for worse, about his character and kind of his work ethic when he was with Charlotte. It is Charlotte. There's a lot of people that don't want to play there. There's a lot of people that don't want to play with Lonzo Ball. There's a lot of people that just look at that franchise and have watched careers just completely tank there. So maybe there's a grain of salt that you got to take with that. But the bigger issue is, Malawach is going to be on his rookie contract. You're not going to have to pay that guy for like 5-6 years. Williams has 1 year left on right now, and then it'll be a restricted free agent where you can sign a 10-year right there and keep him for 1 year. Then you're going to have to pay him. You got 2 years before you're going to have to pay this guy. And if he does hit, you're paying a lot of money right there. That's the same year Bradley Beal's contract potentially would be coming off the books. And it just feels like you finally had an opportunity to really create cap space, but trading for him just completely hinders that and takes away that opportunity. And that's a pretty big thing if we've just learned anything in this NBA. It's that in the era of this second apron and this new NBA, the way to win is to have guys on rookie contracts that are good, hit on your draft picks, and then sprinkle in some guys on the free agency that you aren't paying massive bucks. You don't trade for a guy that's just finishing up on his rookie contract that you're going to have to pay for. Or just let him walk, and then you just gave up draft capital. So that is so hard for me to separate from the rest of this. So again, if you want to just grade them on their draft picks, it's a completely different situation. Now, I think I was a bit harder than I should have been on the Rasheer Fleming drafting. This is, again, giving up some draft capital to move up, but when you start talking second-round picks, I mean, it's kind of some things that kind of float around, but I think he can do a lot. I don't know what he does great, but I think he can bring some energy, and you do meet somebody there at that position. There was so many positions of need. They had so many shooting guards on this roster, and that was about it. Almost no centers. Now we got 4 of them. Rasheer Fleming, I think, can be aggressive, play downhill. Again, like I think a lot of the things that he needs to work on were shown in his draft grade, that he seems to lack a lot of basketball IQ. Doesn't work really well on the rotations for a team. Doesn't do really well on help side defense. Guy in front of him, he's not bad. When he's 1 pass away, when he's 2 passes away, it's not great. Same thing on offense. Slash, it's kind of just looks a little bit like rec ball, where it's just like, I'm going to crash, I'm going to do things, but like actually running a system and like knowing the spacing and knowing how to play in a system, it's going to be a learning curve. Guy looks like he was used to being the best player on every team and kind of just go out and be the best player, which he probably was. A lot of guys in the NBA are, but you quickly, when you step on an NBA court, that is not the case anymore. He's talented, he can help, and he's in a position that they need a lot of help in. And that's part of the reason why, like, I look at the end and I'm like, man, like, I just feel like they still are going to really, really, really need a point guard. Now, they were able to add a couple of pieces, and then with the 41st pick, they go out and get Kobe Brea, which, after I thought about it more and more, I'm less inclined to like in some ways. The guy can shoot the ball, like lights out. He is one of the better three-point shooters coming out of college, but that's about all he does. Not really great at defense. Decent size. Maybe he can develop in that. But it's just the fact that they have so many shooting guards on this team. And it's just the fact that now that they have this center situation kind of figured out, or at least theoretically, the biggest question is going to be point guard. Now, they still have all offseason. They have free agency to try and go out and find somebody. And maybe with a new system and a new head coach, Tyus Jones, if they decide that that's the kind of the piece, he could have a bounce back year. I was so excited to have Tyus Jones last year. I thought he was going to be great on this team. When you looked at his assist to turnover ratio coming in, which was just, it's like a 3-to-1, a guy that could still shoot at a high clip percentage, but didn't necessarily need to just do that. It felt like a great piece that could just orchestrate the offense and facilitate to keep everyone else involved while still keeping the defense honest with his shot. And it just didn't work out. I mean, they benched him halfway through the year and had to put Booker at point guard, and Booker's numbers took a hit. You're asking him to do stuff that's not his natural thing, but it was like they had to figure out something to do there. Now, again, does that change? Does it this season with a new head coach? Does it change the fact that KD's gone and kind of the pieces out there are going to be different? Maybe. But Tyus Jones should not have the season that I really thought he was going to. So if he isn't the guy, the question is who is, and they're going to have to figure that out in a hurry. Because the point guard is the biggest question right now with this team. And it's a significant one. It's something that they're going to have to figure out. Still got time. See what happens here in the summer league. Still got free agency. But I think I will admit, maybe I was a little bit emotional. And I think some of you guys were right. That it wasn't as bad as the draft wasn't nearly as bad as Baby was saying. But I also think I can't separate that Mark Williams trade from the draft. They go hand in hand to me with the amount of draft capital you gave up for. And I can't justify that trade. That trade was awful. Had they not done that trade, I'd really like everything about where this team is headed and the potential of the future and being able to build a little bit. That is such a confusing piece to throw in. And like I said last time, Malawach is a guy that could be the future of this team, but he's going to need to develop. And you can't do that on the bench when Mark Williams is playing. So unless you just was sitting there saying he's going to go up against him in practice and he's going to learn, it's the NBA. People don't practice like that. He's got to get minutes. And he's the 10th pick in the draft at a loaded draft. Should have been top 5. But instead, you got a log jam now. And I don't know what the answer is there. So that's not even counting Nick Richards. So overall, again, you look at the draft grades from a lot of people. Probably a solid B for the Suns. I think that's about right. But that Mark Williams trade is, I think, going to haunt them for a few years. And we're going to have to just wait and see. Can he stay healthy? And what happens with Malawach's development with Williams on this team? Does he re-sign? It just had so many unnecessary problems for this team. And the last thing they need right now is more headaches and more problems. They just need to start from the ground up. But I don't know. What do y'all think?